and welcome everyone to the next episode of CD Bar. This is your host Lovepreet Kaur and I have with me a very special guest today. She is Harjas Kaur, a student of 3rd year CSC in Baba Banda Singh Bahadur Engineering College, Fatehgarh Sahib. She is a student who's very enthusiastic about competitive exams and competitions in general. She is one of those who always wins most of the competitions. And today she'll be talking about a very interesting and discussive topic, which is maintaining a good mental health while being in a competitive environment, also handling peer pressure and how you can easily handle the mental pressure on you while giving your competitive examinations or while undergoing a competition in general. I'm sure you all must be knowing why this topic is especially very important. These days, we see news headlines flooded with cases of depression, anxiety, and even suicide attempts among students. They can actually commit suicides if they don't get admissions in the college of their choice. Now, this might not be their own pressure, this could be because of peer pressure or maybe family pressure sometimes. There are so many aspects in which a student's psyche is actually challenged during competitive examinations and education. Let's start with your family pressurizing you to take some particular field of education. It might be due to your friends or peers pressurizing you for something or bullying you, harassing you. It could be because you are feeling inferior to someone and you have that bad competition going on between a group of friends. It can also be due to the comparison that creeps into students' heart when they're actually studying and being in an environment when there are people better than you. There are so many issues all in all. So we have her just today to share her personal experiences and help us out, especially help our students out to actually maintain a good mental health and a positive attitude during competitive exams and how to handle peer pressure. So Harjas, I would just want you to give a brief introduction about yourself to all our listeners and let them know why you chose this topic specifically.
Hello everyone, this is Harjas Kaur, and first of all, I would like to thank you for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this podcast. And I feel grateful that today I would be able to discuss a sensitive issue on this platform. The reason that I chose this topic today was because there are a bunch of friends of mine who are preparing for their competitive exams, and I felt that they are not giving much attention to their mental health. It is common to see that when students are preparing for their competitive exams, they just isolate themselves and limiting their communication to only study related concerns, thinking that this would help them to concentrate better on their course. Well, that is not the case because this leads to emotional burnout as a lack of light interaction can make them feel hopeless and alone.
Well, thank you, Harjas, for being so honest about why you chose this topic. And it's not just with you, but even we as individuals have a bunch of friends who are preparing for some examinations, and definitely they do isolate themselves thinking that this would help them get better marks. This is one problem which is faced by the entire student community. Don't really understand who has put this in our mind that the quantity, that means the hours of our study, matters more than the quantity, meaning concentration of our study. I literally have a few people in my friend circle who believe that 6 hours of study matters more than 1 hour of concentrated study. Well, we do study the same chapter, but they scratch their mind for extra 5 hours. I don't say that all the 5 fingers are equal. There could be students who have a lesser grasping power or they understand things a little later. But what's your opinion about it? How much is it important to understand that the quality of study time is more important than the quantity of study time? Also, how does this relate with our mental health? I want you to put some light on it.
This usually happens when people are preparing for their exams. They believe that when they would be revising in one set, they would be able to grasp more. But the truth is the reverse of it. It is said that one of the best ways to be more mindful is by taking short breaks and to meditate, which helps the mind to refresh and have more concentration. Instead of sitting for hours together half heartedly, one can study for smaller stretches of time with greater attention. This also relaxes the mind and pumps one up with new energy to start afresh. Even the researchers have revealed that sitting for a long period may lead to health concerns which includes metabolic syndrome or increased blood pressure or even excess body fat around the waist and even abnormal cholesterol levels.
I absolutely agree with you. You have shared some really important health concerns that students face when they are trapping themselves into rooms and specially preparing for the examinations, they do prepare very tight schedules for themselves, thinking that these tight schedules without any window of free time or maybe playtime will help them prepare better, which is a false assumption. Not just, I have a very important point to make here. We all prepare for the examinations, and this course of preparation and examination is all done in order to get either your dream job or your dream institution or for winning a particular competition. This feeling of becoming a winner, a topper, a merit holder is very, very important. This is inculcated in us when we are very, very young, when we start our education. And usually, our parents, the society, they have some expectations regarding us that our child has to be the topper. Is this also a reason for some of the students getting frustrated and developing the sense of bad competition between them, which actually causes other set of problems to mental health? What's your opinion on this?
I agree to that to the fullest because we are living in society where one point on another the scores start to matter more than the knowledge we have. Well, I think that from the very start of our education cycle, we are bribed to be toppers or merit holders in our class. This feeling of winning no matter what happens become a toxic trait in ourselves when we grow. Healthy competition which is supposed to be in ourselves just vanishes away because in the end we just want to win, ignoring the facts that someone else could have performed better than us or have worked hard than us. Comparison itself is really unfair. Knowing that we come from different backgrounds and cultures, we end up comparing ourselves with people that we hardly know. Comparison itself is really unfair. Knowing that we come from different backgrounds and cultures, we end up comparing ourselves with people that we hardly know. Now, this is where a healthy mindset comes into play. We need to know that we are just a different star in this universe, and every star shines differently. We have our own shine, and it just doesn't matter if someone else shines brighter than us.
Well, our mentality of you can't always be the most talented in the room, but you can be the most competitive goes wrong at some places. By that, I definitely don't mean that competition is not important, because if there will be no competition, there will be no progress. But the competition has to be healthy and not comparative. If you start comparing yourself relative to others' performances, you'll be gone. We need to understand that all the five fingers of our hands are not equal. Then how can all of us be same? All of us are unique. We are one of our kind. And we are definitely good at some or the other thing. But not all of us can be good in all the things. Along with this, Harjas, there's very important another aspect which is becoming very significant these days. There is another very prominent issue along with the comparison on the basis of scores, which is actually taking away the peace of students these days. Students are actually stressing about not only the scores but also how other students have particular talents and abilities that they possess, how someone is teacher's favorite, how is his or her reputation in the college. They are becoming more conscious about how they look, how they present themselves. How important you think is this aspect in a student's life? The comparison that comes not on the basis of the educational qualification or scores, but also creeps in to the personal life of a student. How do you think can one manage this?
As I've said earlier, comparison is a toxic trait, whether it is done in terms of education or in terms of personal matters. When it comes to present ourselves, I believe that it is just our personality. Some people like to talk much, we call them extroverts. Some people don't like to have conversation with others and they are introverts. Well, I guess when it comes to becoming a teacher's favorite, I think that fellow students always have that perception that someone else is a star in the eyes of the teacher because they talk to them more or they listen to them more. But in my opinion, it is the other way around. In my opinion, I think that teachers notices the students who are either excelling in their exams, doing their assignments on time, or even asking doubts. Also, we all need to understand that we are not born talented. We polish our skills with time. In my opinion, I think that teachers notices the students who are either excelling in their exams, doing their assignments on time, or even asking doubts. They have worked on their weak points and have finally become the person they are now.
Harjas, hats off to you. You have explained everything so beautifully that I don't feel the need to add anything else to it. But just one thing, make sure that all of you are working on your own goals. If you get distracted, you might just end up burning out yourself. The point is that you're here to enjoy the journey to your success and to be successful yourself. It's none of your business is what someone else is doing. If you can, learn the good things from others. But if you cannot, then at least don't criticize others who are doing well, because this will obviously harm your mental health and their mental health as well. Well, Harjas, it's time for us to take up another very important issue, which is peer pressure. This is faced by students who are either studying in local schools, colleges, or universities, or even fly out to different states or countries for their education. This can be due to the difference in cultures, mindsets, mentalities, backgrounds, values, and a lot of other things. Well, these instances are very common across globe, but this is one of the issues which we cannot ignore because students actually undergo a very bad mental trauma when they are forced to adapt to a situation which they don't want to adapt in the first place. So far, we have discussed about the importance of positive competition and how we can actually maintain our mental health in negative competitive environments. The only person we should be competing with every single day is ourselves, so that one day we'll be the best version of ourselves, not the best version of the whole class. As important it is to understand the individual contribution to your success and to your competition, it's also very important to understand how you can actually manage yourselves in an environment where you're forced to do certain things because of circumstances.
At one point or another, we would have faced a situation in which we wanted to do certain things just because others were doing it.
I want to understand your take on peer pressure. How do you think this peer pressure actually is an harassment for any student's psyche, how it affects our mental health, and how we can actually fight back such a situation?
Whenever you come across a peer pressure situation, the very first thing you should do is to listen to your gut. I think that most of the problems that the teenagers come across is because of the peer pressure. If you feel uncomfortable, even if your friends seem to be okay with what's going on, it means that something about the situation is wrong for you. This kind of decision making is part of becoming self reliant and learning more about who you are. In my opinion, the best way to avoid peer pressure is to hang out with people who feel the same way you do. Choose the friends who will speak up with you when you are in need of moral support and be quick to speak up for a friend in the same way. If you are hearing that little voice telling you a situation is not right, chances are others hear it too. Just having one other person stand with you against peer pressure makes it much easier for both people to resist. Making the choices about the things in which you are not confident enough can disturb your mental peace. Responding to peer pressure is a part of human nature, but some people are more likely to give in and others are better able to resist and stand their ground. People who are low on confidence and those who tend to follow rather than lead could be more likely to seek their peers' approval by giving in to risky challenge or suggestion. People who are unsure of themselves, new to group, or unexperienced with peer pressure may also be more likely to giving in. I happen to remember that incident because that made me realize that how the influence of others on you can affect you.
I think you've explained it in the most beautiful way. And the personal experience that you shared gives more closure on how disastrous peer pressure can be. I am too positive to be doubtful, too optimistic to be fearful, and too determined to be defeated. That's how your heart should say. That's what your mind should say. That's how you should feel at all times. I have discussed this before as well. It's very important to feed yourself rightly. What your mind perceives, what your eyes see, what your ears hear, and whatever you're seeing around you, all of it affects the perception of human mind. And it all generates a vibration inside of you. Now make sure the vibration it's generating is positive and strong enough to nullify the negative vibration that's being spread outside in the external world. What is important along with this mental diet is the diet that you give to your stomach, is to feed yourself rightly with good, healthy, balanced diet. Why I am saying this is because of a very common observation. Students and people in general, when they are undergoing a stressful situation, which can be stress in their personal life or professional life, or even as simple as preparing for a competition or exam, we tend to ignore our healthy eating habits, yoga, meditation, and all the good things that are actually important for a good mental and physical body. When we are engrossed in actually fighting back these stressful situations of life or preparing for any examination, we tend to ignore the most important aspect required for the strength. It's almost like you want your car to actually give you more average while not adding any fuel to it. How is this possible? So here's Harjas sharing her views about importance of healthy diet, healthy food habits, and otherwise healthy practices during examination or any stressful situation in student life.
It is commonly seen that when we are preparing for exams, we often forget to eat healthy. In fact, one often skips meals altogether. Doing so once or twice doesn't make a difference, but skipping several meals over the week affects both mind and the body. The nutrients from food not only provide fuel to the body to function, but also play a major role in sustaining one's mental health in the long run. I think it is important to stick to a balanced diet which should comprise the five vital nutrients that are fats, vitamins, proteins, minerals, and carbohydrates. In my opinion, eating healthy and having a good sleeping pattern are both important aspects to have a good mental health. It is no doubt that staying awake at odd hours is considered as an integral part of students' life. If I talk about my sleeping pattern as an example, I used to be an early bird when I was doing my secondary education. I used to go for walk in the morning or even go for a run. But as I turned into a senior secondary student, I turned into a night owl and I felt the difference when my sleeping pattern got disturbed. I used to have headache all day. I had my eating pattern disturbed. So, in conclusion, I found that if you are going to exhaust your body by not eating healthy or not having a good sleeping pattern, it is just going to be another big obstacle for you when you're preparing for exams.
To add something here, I would say that coronavirus has shown us the reality of life. We've all seen what is more important. See, education is important. Clearing examinations with good marks is important. To be successful and to own a good job or a good position in your college or school is important. But what's most important is you and your mental health. Now we can see this trend of people becoming more conscious about their mental health and their physical body all in all. But we students also need to realize this as quick as possible that nothing is more important than our mental health. It is proven, medically proven, that if you have a good sleep pattern and you sleep on time, then your concentration power and your memory will be stronger. Of course, you'll be able to recall the concepts in the examination well. See, it doesn't matter how many hours you're studying for. If you're studying for a month, a few weeks, 2 days, or even one night before the exam. The point is that you should remember everything, recollect everything while you're sitting in your examination hall within 3 hours' time. And for that, you need a good grasping power, a good concentration, and a very, very, very good memory. Now, what helps your memory is sleep. Sleep is kind of a dose for you which allows your mind to rest and to save the things what you have learned. We all know that what we see and what we hear is stored in our mind as memory. If you skip your sleep or reduce the sleep time, what happens is your brain does not get enough time to save everything that you have seen or read or maybe heard. Then what's the point? If you can't recollect what you learned at the point of your examination and cannot write it in the 3 hours time, then there's no point studying because you'll be marked on the basis of what you write in your examination or how you deal with the situation at the point of crisis and not what you have practiced so far. There was once a time when early to bed, early to rise made a person healthy, wealthy, and wise. It's not that the code does not fit in today's situation, it does. But the problem today is that we have got too many resources and we are thinking that waking up all night and not eating well will actually help us score better. Situation is that we can actually see so many students, and sometimes we're also part of that bunch, who are frantically shuffling pages in front of their examination halls because even at the last moment they aren't confident that they remember everything that has to be answered in the question paper. Well, this is the irony of the time. Staying up at odd hours and not eating well, irrespective of if it's for examinations or for any other purpose in your life, is not safe. Anyone who wants to succeed in life in any aspect has to make sure that their sleeping patterns and their eating habits are really good, because that's the need of our body. And you just cannot neglect the need of your body if your mind is saying, let's not do it. Thanks for answering all the questions so well, Harjas. Here's the last question for you. Why do you think mental awareness is very important these days?
I actually came across a report which said that one student commits suicide every hour in the country. This makes it more than evident that we as a society are doing very less to inform our students that their mental well being is much more important than any exam. Mental awareness is all about being conscious of your mental state and managing stress efficiently. Balancing life and exam preparations, which are only a small part of it, will help aspirants lead a happy life no matter what the results turn out to be. Understanding how stress affects mental health can solve half the problem and help aspirants prepare more efficiently without compromising on their health. And it can help strengthen their coping mechanisms whenever they face failures. I really wish that people talk about their mental well being more often and discuss about the issues that are bothering them in their tough times.
Well said, Harjas. The role of family and friends is very important when a student or an individual is going through mental stress, whether it's because of examination or any other purpose. It's very important to help them cope up with the stress and not exceedingly push your expectations on them to overload them at that point of time. We still do think that mental health issues and all the problems that students and individuals face in their life in all the aspects should remain a secret. Then we should be ready to actually take the toll and responsibility of more and more tumors developing in the minds of individuals and students committing suicide. It's very important to open up and talk. On the students' end, also, it's very important that they discuss the issues with a psychiatrist or maybe a counselor. If they're feeling stressed about a situation, then they must, for some time, ignore the expectations that society and people have from them and actually should give themselves some time, some window to relax. Well, thanks a lot, Harjas, for sharing such important insights and your wonderful personal experiences. I think we all can learn a lesson from your life and your views. If you are someone who's actually undergoing mental stress right now because you're not able to cope up with the society's expectations, peer pressure, scores, grades, competitions, or whatever, take a break. Wait and think. You've come alone and you have to go alone. The people around you who are affecting you right now are not going to stay with you forever. So, why do you need to ruin your mental health for that? It's more important than mastering a subject is to master your soul and your mind. It's important you know what you need. To understand the needs of your soul and mind are the most important aspects of human life. And you're able to maintain your inner peace, then you can actually make some mind blowing decisions and succeed in life the way you never thought. Dealing with competitive environments and peer pressure is one of the concerns common amongst all the students. And for a fact, all of us are students throughout our life. We are always in the phase of learning and improving. In this phase of improvisation, the ultimate victory in a competition is derived from the inner satisfaction of knowing that you have done your best and that you have gotten the most out of what you had to give. Let me remind you again, the only person you should try to be better than is the person you were yesterday. All of us have been through this phase. The best part of competition is that through it we discover what we are capable of and how much more we can actually do than we ever believed possible. Now that's the kind of attitude you need to be in a competition. The best way to kill competition is to partner it. So, competition is important as long as it is healthy and progressive for all of us in it. This, I would like to thank Harjas again for her valuable time and inputs. I would like to thank all our listeners to stay with us till the end, and I hope all of us are able to become youth leaders one fine day. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you in the next episode of CD Bath. This is your host, Lovepreet Kaur, signing off.